Hey everybody, welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers, and it's time for Rockin Robbie Live. How is everybody doing? Here for a live stream tonight. We're going to be talking about this upcoming week's new comic books. We'll be talking about some exciting pop culture news. We'll be asking the question of the day, and of course just having a good old time chatting about pop culture, movies, TV, comic books, and a whole lot more. I am Rockin Robbie Billups, and thank you guys for being here, and you gals and everybody. I really do appreciate it. Once you get in, let us know that you're here and say what's up. Sound off. What's up, Bawana Beast? What's up, Linkovich? Busta, how are y'all doing? I am doing fantastic. Unfortunately, the Yankees lost earlier. I watched that game. It was excruciating. What's up, Reggie? Representing the PCP fam. How you doing? What's up, Adam? Adam M. Today we're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff. Lots of exciting news. Did anybody check out the weekly pop culture wrap-up this morning? Lots of exciting news. What's up, Eddie? What's up, One God Tank? What's up, Joel? How are y'all doing? Everybody have a good weekend. How's your weekend going? Did you get some good reading in? Did you get some good pop culture in? Did you watch a good movie? I've been watching some decent movies. Green Lantern is on pause. Well, what's happening, Adam, is that there was already a planned break between Volume 1 and Volume 2, right? So this is going to fill in that gap. So there's not just going to be a break with no Grant Morrison Green Lantern. It's still going to continue in this Black Star miniseries. It's probably going to be, I think, 2 to 3 issues or something like that, if I had to guess. But it will not be drawn by Liam Sharp, but it gives him a chance to get caught up for the start of the second part of their Green Lantern run. What's up, Monty? Thank you. Thank you for the faith. I do want to tell everybody, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you can. It really helps out the channel. It's a great way to support Pop Culture Philosophers. What's up, S Squared? Sayokio, how are you doing? Watched the Pop Culture Review this morning. Read all 6 issues of Die. Loved it. I'm hearing some great stuff about Die. I definitely need to get that trade and check it out, because I only read like the first 2 issues. And then I decided to trade weighted. Audio's fine. Everybody can hear me, all that jazz. But a lot of people really like Die. They've been saying very, very good things about it. So let's start off. What was your pick of the week last week? My pick of the week was Gideon Falls. Gideon Falls, number 16, right? Yeah, absolutely fantastic, bonkers. Usually when I think about what the pick of the week is going to be, it's going to be something that anybody can go into the shop and just pick it up. Now, not anybody can just go pick up an issue of Gideon Falls right now and be like, oh, that was a great comic book. You'd be so lost. Don't worry, we're lost halfway sometimes too. But it was a really great book, and I love how innovative that book is. It really does stretch the boundaries of what they're doing typically right now in comic books with sequential storytelling, composition, layouts, and stuff like that. I really, really liked it. I think Sorrentino's artwork is just top-notch, and, of course, Jeff Lemire's just killing it right now. What's up, David Hatch? How are you doing? S-Square's doing fine. There was Gideon Falls this week, yep. Joe, I got a limited edition Funk Pop 2019 Summer Convention. Which one did you get? Adam says Swordmaster number 2 was his pick of the week. How are you doing, David? It's good to see you here. Here on the live stream, Rockin Robbie Live, here on a Sunday evening. Once again, everybody, hit that thumbs up button. Help support the channel. So we really do appreciate everything, of course. Everybody here in the PCP Army, y'all just rock. Everything is great. We got lots of exciting news tonight to get to. Lots of exciting talk. What was your pick of the week last week, though? We got a Gideon Falls. We got a Swordmaster. What else? What else did y'all like? Thank you so much, David. I really do appreciate that. I'm sure you do as well. Ooh, a green metal Yoda. That sounds super, super cool. I'm kind of jealous. I have 3 Star Wars pops, I believe. One is Yoda, but it is the Santa Claus Yoda. He's wearing the Santa hat. So that's a nice one. I've got a Kylo Ren, and I've got a Grievous. Conan was the pick of the week. The one shot, Exodus, yeah. Esad Ribbit kind of nailed that. Really good. Great artwork. And really does a great job of showing you the importance of the image in the comic book. Like, it is a visual medium first, and that the images should be able to tell a story on their own. And that, absolutely fantastic. What's up, Hamburger Basket? We are all good. I'm all good. I can't speak for everybody, but I am fantastic. What's up, Flicking Stuff? How are you doing? Matt says, Once in Future was the pick of the week. Absolutely a fantastic book. It was my number 2. I thought it was a great launch, a great start. Dan Mora on artwork, Gillen on the writing. Of course it's going to be great. But I really did think it was a great introduction into this concept, this world. It was fantastic. I liked it a lot. So right now we're talking about everybody's favorite picks of the week. That's right, your favorite comic book of last week. We've already had Once in Future mentioned. We've had Gideon Falls mentioned. We've had Swordmaster mentioned. What's up, Jesse? Reggie says Swordmaster, Powers of 10, and Once in Future. Powers of 10, another crazy, off-the-wall, nutso issue that makes me want to go back and reread every book that ever had the Phalanx in it. Absolutely. Flicking Stuff says the Catwoman art germ cover was absolute fire. The Wonder Woman cover was really good too. You talking about the Frizon cover or whatever? Jenny's cover, really cool stuff there. The art germ cover I really did like it. It was pretty cool. The animated series Catwoman. I have only read Punisher Kill Crew from this week. It was great, just pure fun. I have many books to read and catch up with from last week. Really looking forward to getting into Gideon Falls again. Gideon Falls is an amazing comic book, and I loved it. That was a great, great issue that answered some questions and left a lot more questions to be proposed. Also like the Fantastic Four. That was awesome, too. Joe, I'm right there with you. I thought it was a great book. I really, at first, didn't really like Dan Slott's run at first. I was extremely happy to have the Fantastic Four back. I think Sarah Pacelli's artwork was just not... She's not quite my favorite artist. Not that it's bad or anything like that, but it just something doesn't ever really grab me in, especially this. It felt very rushed. So once they did that Doom story, story was all right too. It was kind of quick, but now like they're hitting their stride. I really think they are on Fantastic Four. And Punisher Kill Crew, by the way, as HB just said, was fantastic. It was just pure unadulterated fun. It's Frank going after the last remaining remnants from the War of the Realms. Loved it so much. Juan Ferreira's artwork, glorious. Yes, I did. The Conan the Barbarian Exodus van cover. That's the one I had on my video when I did the review. I loved that cover. I thought it was cool. I'm right there with Joel. Collapser was good. I liked it. That's a good, solid book right now. I think Mikey Way and company are doing a great job with that one. Interesting concept, really crazy, bonkers, fun. Exactly what we've come to expect from DC Young Animal, right? Oh, yeah, and Silver Surfer Black. Don't forget about that. I love me some Silver Surfer Black. That was great. I love me some Tradmore artwork. Absolutely love it. What's up, Dylan? Yeah, Reggie seconds that Silver Surfer Black. Everyone, listen to David Hatch. Everyone smack that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. We are getting close to 5,000, which means another contest is on the approach. So everybody, share the channel. That's how we're growing because of y'all. Keep sharing. Keep getting people to subscribe. Keep getting people to join our community here. And we're about to hit another contest for 5,000 subscribers. And for 4,000, we gave away the Mark Waid, Mike Wieringo Fantastic Four Omnibus hardcover. So I'm anticipating to do something super cool as well for the 5,000. Oh, yeah. Juan Ferreira on Punisher Kill Crew. I love his artwork. He did the Killmonger miniseries with Brian Hill, which was fantastic. I highly encourage you to check that one out. It's available in trade right now. The issue shouldn't be too difficult to get either if you're a floppy fan. He did some Old Man Logan work, and before that, I know he did some DC work. He did like a little bit of work on, I think, Batman Eternal. Did some Green Arrow work, I think, here and there. Relative newcomer, at least as far as I'm aware. but just killing it right now. He's guaranteed he's going to be on a big title very soon. Marvel has actually killed it this summer. They're getting their act together and they're doing some fun things. Now, most of this is on the back of two creators, and that's Donny Cates and Jonathan Hickman. But other creators are doing especially great work over at Marvel right now. Matthew Rosenberg, Kelly Thompson, Ed Brisson, doing some good stuff. Chip Zdarsky, obviously been killing it this year at Marvel. So Marvel is doing some great stuff. Really turning it around. Yeah, Killmonger earlier this year, Green Arrow during Rebirth. What's a good Green Arrow to start with? I would always recommend that anybody that wants to start in on Green Arrow, start with the Mike Grell stuff. I would definitely encourage you, if you're going to get your first Green Arrow book, I think it should either be The Longbow Hunters by Mike Grell, or it should be, what is it? Is it Diggle and Jock on Green Arrow, Year 1? That one's pretty good and it's all right, but I definitely would recommend getting into the Mike Grell stuff, starting with Longbow Hunters. Aside from that, the Kevin Smith run's pretty cool and is a great catch-up on Oliver Queen. And the Brad Meltzer run that follows that immediately is even better. The Archer's Quest, one of my favorite Green Arrow stories out there. What cereal am I eating this week? Well, currently, I am eating this cereal called Catacorn, and it's really good. It stayed up on the cereal shelf for a while. I was actually very scared of it. I thought it was going to be very sugary. Here lately, a lot of these weird little cereals that have been popping in and out have been very cakey or anything like that. It said it was berry-licious or whatever, but basically it's like a berry Fruit Loops, and it is so good. And I've been enjoying the hell out of that one in particular. That's been my cereal choice of late. I've also been eating, what was the other one? What's the other one? Chips Ahoy. I ate the Chips Ahoy cereal for the first time. Of course, it's like Cookie Crisp, but it is a little bit different. It's got a more distinctive flavor, or at least I think it does. So I went out to the store and I got a box of Cookie Crisp, and I'll be eating that one soon to compare it. But both of those were really, really good. What cereal are you eating right now? Fruity Berry Lucky Charms. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Fruity Lucky Charms. I didn't really like it that much. Let me know how you like it. I do like the chocolate Lucky Charms. And, now they got like a Rice Krispie Treats Lucky Charms. Now, it's not officially Rice Krispies, much like the Frosted Flakes Lucky Charms wasn't officially Kellogg's Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes. But, yeah, interesting stuff. Sounds like diabetes in a box. Only if you eat it by the boxful, man. Moderation in everything, except for comic books. What's up, Carlos? We were talking about our favorite picks of the week. Now we're talking about our favorite cereals, what cereals we're eating right now. So what cereals are you eating right now, if any? Always peanut butter Captain Crunch. That's my number one cereal choice, is peanut butter crunch. What do you think about the rumor that AT&T might kill DC Comics and just use the character license? It's just a rumor. The rumors like that have been bumbling around for a while. It's not going to happen. Honey Bunches of Oats, that's great stuff. There are lots of different kinds. There's a caramel apple one that's out really good. That's really good right now. I have always appreciated, though, the maple pecan. Yes, Green Arrow stuff's pretty cool. Wasn't that Benjamin Percy writing that? Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Carlos, that's awesome. Oh, why thank you, Flicking Stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, we're about to start talking about this upcoming week's new comics. For Wednesday, August 21st, it's going to be a new comic book day. Yeah, there's a lot of craziness in White Trees. I thought White Trees was all right. It had nothing to do with that. I just thought it was okay. I'm not the biggest fantasy fan. The artwork was gorgeous. But, yeah, that was... I knew it was coming, but it was whoa, that got a little hardcore. Oh, Apple Jacks is great stuff. I got a box of Apple Jacks right now in the on the cereal shelf. Marvel 1000 is next week, right? Yeah, I think so. The 28th. Yeah, the eBay prices for Supergirl and Superman from this last week have skyrocketed. Now, of course, shops were under orders to destroy them. Apparently, that, of course, did not happen. Wednesday morning, people were looking for it at my shop, and we even had people requesting them. We were going to destroy them because that's what we're supposed to do. But we actually didn't get them. Some people that actually had them taken out of their shipments. We were one of those people. We did not get a single copy of it, so I didn't even get to read it early, which is really actually kind of looking forward to reading it early. They originally, of course, said that they were going to recall it because the cover said it tied into Year of the Villain, but it didn't, so that was misleading. Well, there have been other DC books that have had that banner, like Catwoman from last week, and it didn't get pulled. But if some of the interior pages have been shared, and what it looks like is Lightning Lad is portrayed as a black man, and apparently this has been kind of like a weird thing going on with DC editorial where he is, he isn't, there's the what, I don't know, but apparently they wanted it pulled because I don't know, but there's all that kind of stuff involved right now. It's crazy. But yeah, people that got a hold of them, they've been selling them for like up to $50 to $60 on eBay. That's crazy. Yeah, I love Cocoa Puffs too. Got some right there. We'll be digging into that one not too long from now. Well, the variant cover still had a Year of the Villain like little banner at the bottom of it, but the banner is not why they did it. Apparently, it's because the coloring on Lightning Lad made him look like a black man, and that's not quite what they wanted. And like I don't know, there's some kind of like mishap that happens, some kind of miscommunication or something like that. Though somebody was telling me that the variant cover for the Supergirl is actually going to be different, so that's crazy. I'm excited to see the new Doctor Doom book. We'll see what happens. You know, usually I get burned when there's a solo Doom book, but, you know, it's always cool to see a spotlight on Victor. He's absolutely one of my favorite characters of all time, so. I'm excited for a team Punisher is assembling. Have to catch up with Punisher, but a team with Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, and Night Thrasher. Yeah, and a couple other surprises. Matthew Rosenberg is making all of our 90s Marvel dreams come true in the pages of Punisher right now. He also did that in his X-Men run, you know. Someone said something about Marvel. Yeah, is Marvel coming out with any new teams? What's up, Alexander? There is the new Strike Force team coming out. It's going to be Blade, Winter Soldier, Angela, Spider-Woman. Who am I missing? Somebody else is on that team, right? But that comes out. I think Teenie Howard is the writer on that one. Yeah, I think it's just the variant cover for the Supergirl, but I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that one. Oh, Brian, that's awesome. I love me some Doom 2099 as well. In fact, I actually have a Doom 2099 poster that I recently just refound in my stuff, and I almost put it up instead of that Absolute Carnage poster back there, but I didn't. I kind of wish I would have now so that you could be like, whoa, yeah. So maybe I'll put it up next. Yeah, I love Doom 2099. Did you know Warren Ellis wrote some of those? Yeah, I heard that. Diamond, I don't know if Diamond threatened to cut their account, but they were going to be, like, they were wanting to, like, DC was really serious about this one, and once they started hitting the market, like, they knew that was going to happen. You know, I mean, they knew that was going to happen, of course, right? But, you know, how do I feel? I mean, they told us to destroy them. You know, they straight up told you're not allowed to sell these, and if you break street date, if you don't follow the rules, you're in danger of getting certain privileges taken away, including your account with Diamond. And if you don't have a Diamond account, you can't sell comics. I think retailers should have taken it serious. But you know, whatever, it is what it is. But if Diamond tells us to destroy something, like, we gonna destroy it. Yeah, just heard about that Morbius series. Vita Ayala writing that one. Very excited. We'll see what happens. Give another Morbius series a go. Back in the 90s, I loved Morbius. What's up, Alicia? How you doing? I haven't seen you in forever. Anybody here get a copy of any of the Supergirl or the Superman from last week? I know one of our members over at the PCP Army, good friend of the show, Taylor, he wound up getting one in his box, but he gave it back. Look at him doing the right thing. So we're about to get into this upcoming week's new comics for August 21st. And once again, hit that like button. And don't forget, the little tip jar down there, we're on Patreon at patreon.com/PCP. We're on lots of places, so check us out. Let's start with IDW, right? The IDW, we've got a third printing of Canto number 1. So if you missed the first or the second, here's your third chance to get it. Also a second printing of number 2 and the first printing of number 3. So Canto number 3 is out this week. I've been loving that book. Eve Stranger number 3 is out this week. Marvel Action Avengers number 7. Marvel Action Captain Marvel number 1. Marvel Action Spider-Man number 7. A second printing of Road of Bones number 2. Anybody read Road of Bones? I loved that book so much. What a chilling ending. Star Wars Adventures number 24. Rise of the TMNT Sound Off number 2. And Transformers 84 number 0. That's out from IDW this week. Let's go over to Dark Horse. From Dark Horse, we have Aliens Rescue number 2. We have Avatar, Sutei's Path number 6. That's the final issue. What else we got? We got Last Stop on the Red Line number 3. Hellboy and the BPRD, Saturn Returns number 1. American Gods, Moment of the Storm. Is that a trade? Or I can't read the issue number or whatever. Strayed number 1. It's Wando, Cat in Space. Come on. I'm excited for that. And Trout, Hollowest Knock number 3. And that's from Dark Horse. Out this week. What next? Let's see if Dynamite's got anything. We got Betty Page Unbound number 3. James Bond number 10. Red Sonja, Birth of the She-Devil number 3. Vampirilla number 2. And Warlord of Mars Attacks number 3. From Boom Studios, we've got Avant Gardes number 7. I love that book. I think it's great. Faithless number 5 is out this week. Jim Henson's Beneath the Dark Crystal number 12 is out this week. A Klaus trade paperback. So if you've never read Grant Morrison and Dan Moore's Klaus book, here's your chance to get it in softcover. And Smooth Criminals number 8 is out this week. Now let's get caught up on some comments here. It is hot in this room. Hey, what's up, Highlighter? Yeah, when I first set up the live show so that everybody would get the notifications, I put the wrong date on it. So originally it came up and I guess it said it was for the 18th, but it was scheduled for the 17th. And yeah, there you go. Robbie, the best books are House of X and Powers of 10. Those are some great books. I love them so much. I'm a huge Jonathan Hickman fan. I love his structure. I love I just love his vision, and it's great science fiction, and it works for the X-Men, and he's blowing my mind. As far as I'm aware, in America, Diamond is the only place to get comic books. They're the only distributor of comic books to comic shops and things like that. It's Diamond. And it's been that way since the 90s, pretty much. The art on Canto is amazing. I love it. And Astoni's colors, heck yeah. If you like Vittorio Astoni, our latest issue, might as well call it an issue, our latest episode of Comics Revisited was all about his book with Dennis Camp and Aditya Bidikar, Maxwell's Demons. So you should totally check that out. If you've never read Maxwell's Demons, don't check out that video. It's total spoilage, but you totally should read Maxwell's Demons. It's a great book. I'm right there with you, Chad, and welcome. You could not have ended Road of Bones in any other way, but I loved that ending, and I loved the question at the end. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to check out Road of Bones, but my local comic shops need to order those. No one carries them around these parts, sadly. That sucks, Hamburger Basket. Have you let them know that you want it? And they still can't get it? That sucks. You can always holler at my shop online at the Deep Comics and Games. You can find us on Facebook. Send us a message. We ship. We do all that stuff. We carried it. We still have copies. You need Road of Bones? Let us know. Strayed number 1. I'm excited for that one. That's going to be cool. Right there with you, Carlos. Looking forward to Morrissey and Company's The Plot. Tim Daniel variant is amazing. Yeah. Absolutely. Tim Daniel is also the co-writer on that one. I have had the privilege, I should say, to read the first issue. There will be an advanced review coming soon, possibly this week. People are really going crazy for Dead End Kids. They are. It's a great book. Why is it hit so hard? I don't know. It's kind of like Stand By Me in 1999. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. But yeah, that book has gone up. There is a second printing coming. Picked up Kanto on your recommend. Always watch Tuesday's show. No problems. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed it. Flicking stuff. Didn't like the story. We talking about Dead End Kids? I liked it. I thought it was all right. Mostly, though, what I really liked about it was I liked this cool mystery. I liked this sense of melancholy. I liked that it reminded me of things like Stand By Me, but in 1999. 99 is the year I graduated high school. And very nostalgic for me. And I liked all the little details, like the iMac computers and stuff. I liked Dead End Kids, though. I did. Carlos, there is a second printing of #1 coming. I'm kind of curious to see Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Me too. Absolutely. A dream come true because it's the Mighty Morphin. Now, the Turtles and the Power Rangers have crossed over before. And I don't remember what Power Rangers series it was, but it wasn't Mighty Morphin. It wasn't my Power Rangers. So I'm very excited for that. I read the first few issues of Pearl, and then I got out of it. I need to get caught up and see what's going on with it. Is it finally the last issue of Pearl this week? We'll see. I thought it was over at like 5 or 6, to be honest with you. All right, from other companies this week, we have from Aftershock Comics, we have Bad Reception, #1. That's the debut from a new comic book, I should say. Blade Runner 2019, #2 is out this week. Boston Metaphysical Society, #2 from Source Point Press. I wasn't that impressed with #1. Bronze Age Boogie, #5 is out from Ahoy Comics. From Scout Comics, we have Category 0, #4. I read it. It's awesome. Dead End Kids, #2 is out this week. So if you missed #1, you definitely try to jump in there and get #2. Goon, #4 finally drops, even though 5's already happened. Grumble, #9 also hits this week. From Scout Comics, there's a new one called Headless. That's out this week. Killer Groove, #4 is out this week from Aftershock. Aftershock. Aftermath is Dr. Dre. See, Life is Strange, #8 is out this week. Livewire, #9. Monster World, The Golden Age, #2. I was actually very impressed with issue #1, and I think if you're a Mignola fan, you should check that one out. Planet Caravan is a new one debuting from Scout Comics this week. From Valiant, we have Psylords, #3. Strangelands, #2 is out from Humanoids, and Stronghold, #5 from Aftershock. Not Aftermath Comics. We'll get to Image here in just a second. It was Power Rangers in Space. There you go. I didn't watch that series, but I do have in the closet over yonder. I got in the closet. I got some of the Zords from it. Or no, that's Lost Galaxy that I got in there. I also got a Megazord in there, like the original Megazord. Of course, I got one over there, the Ultrazord. You guys want to see my Ultrazord? I can't get to it tonight, but I'll bring it out for another one of these live streams soon. Basically, I had a wing messed up. A wing was broken on my Pterodactyl Zord. I'm holding my chest because that's where the Pterodactyl goes on the Megazord. But one of the wings was broken, and so I got a whole new one because of that. This is truly a great time for independent comics. The last time we had this much goodness across the indie scene was the 90s. Like, seriously, just like in film, right? In film, independent films were the jam in the 90s, and I was right there with it. If it had Miramax, if it was distributed by Miramax and it was written and directed by the same person, I was pretty much in on it. You know what I'm saying? But the indie scene right now in comic books is amazing. And the indie scene from the 90s was amazing, and it really gave us some great creators like Ed Brubaker, Brian Michael Bendis, David Mack, some great, great creators. So right now, what's going on in the indie scene, this is the future of the industry. Vault Comics, Scout Comics, Source Point Press, Aftershock, even what's going on a little bit at Image and stuff like that. Lots of talent. Lots of up-and-coming creators doing exceptional work right now. I read the first issue of Everything, Brian. It was okay. I loved the artwork. I really like that cat's artwork. It's different and it's really unnerving at times, but it's good. It's simple. It's cool. I liked it. But the story didn't quite wrap itself around my consciousness, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's about a store that comes in and they're like a big Walmart supercenter type thing, and they sell everything, and there's this danger of it like stomping all the competition in this town. But I don't know. It just did not grab me quite like that one did. I did read Triage, which is coming out, and that's got a great concept with some really wacky artwork that I like. But the best indie that I got an advanced look at recently was Something is Killing the Children by James Tynion. Oh my goodness, that book was so good, and it's already going to be hype because the hype is already building so much for that book that this is insane, by the way, for an independent comic. FOC orders increased it 150%. That's insane. If you're not aware, retailers have to get their orders in like 2 to 3 months before the book releases, right? But then there's this thing called FOC, which is Final Order Cutoff. And that's usually the Monday that's 5 weeks before release. It's the last possible chance to up or decrease your orders on a book before it goes to press, before it goes into print, right? So that's the absolute last day you have to get your orders guaranteed, right? That book more than doubled. That's crazy. Its orders on FOC. Lots of hype building up on that. And basically what happened is, what this means is this. Retailers like I did, got that advanced look, we read it, and we were blown the F away. That book was so amazing. That is so crazy, Highlighter. That is so crazy. Was ready to jump on the Hickman X series. My local comic shop only ordered number ones for their customer pull boxes, no shelf copies. What? We have so many shelf copies of House of X number 1. We still have them. We still have House of X number 1, House of X number 2, Powers of 10 number 1, Powers of 10 number 2. We still got them. Now, did you see that the House of X number 2 was going up online like $15 to $20 because of all the Moira stuff? Craziness. Vault is definitely at the forefront. Yeah, absolutely. So excited to pick up some new series and go back and read some older ones. Zojakon. Zojakon is one you definitely need to read. Maxwell's Demons, if you haven't already. The current stuff is amazing. Just some fantastic work from Vault. Heathen's been a really good one. Deep Roots, if you missed out on that one, definitely check that out from Dan Waters. Recently, of course, wrote Coffin Bound, which made a lot of waves. Yeah, Black Stars Above. That is what it's called, right? Yeah, Black Stars Above, the new one from Lonnie Nadler. Or is it Nadler? I don't know. But yes, it's the second book of the Nightfall line, which the first is the plot. So Vault going straight up into horror. I got the original Super Sentai collections of the series, but missing 3 sets, and sometimes the Super Sentai versions are better. Sometimes, Joe, I pretty much would almost say every time. I love me some Super Sentai. And I'm not trying to, downplay the Power Rangers or anything like that, but Super Sentai is where it's at, like for real. Super Sentai is the best. My favorite Super Sentai series is Gokaiger. I love Gokaiger. I love Go Busters. I'm tempting myself with the idea of checking out Beast Morphers because of it, because I love Go Busters so much. But Gokaiger's great. But usually, especially if I've watched the Super Sentai first, I get incredibly disappointed by Power Rangers. If I watch Power Rangers first, I don't get disappointed. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's not always the Sentai's better, to be honest with you, because I would dare to say that Power Rangers Samurai is better than Shinkaiger. However, I watched the American Power Rangers before I watched that Super Sentai. So maybe that's the thing. If I watch the Super Sentai first, I'm always going to be disappointed because it's not the same. Like the Gokaiger with Super Megaforce, that was what? Like, this was the biggest, epic, most coolest anniversary Sentai thing they ever did was Gokaiger. And they just rushed through, and it was like nothing in Power Rangers. It was so crazy. And we were all hyped for it. We're like, oh, Tom is coming back. Weak. Any news for Wasted Space number 11? No. The news that we have is this. Soon. Morrissey and Sherman were just talking about that. Soon. There is a pre-order link now available, though, for the Wasted Space audio drama, which I'm super excited for. Adam says his shop sold out of all the X-Men books, too. Whoa. If y'all ever need a book, if you can't find it, just if you're on Facebook or on Twitter, holler at me. We have plenty of those books, for instance. Crazy. Miles Morales 616. What are we talking about? Robbie, did you hear the evil Miles Morales may reappear in issue number 10 of Miles? That's interesting. Now, I did see that if you see the image, that it looks like Ultimate Norman Osborn's coming in. All that stuff's still out there and dangling around, so maybe Ahmed's getting to it. Jim's Comics made some pretty interesting ideas and thoughts on that Silver Surfer Black issue number 3 and Galactus. I haven't checked that out. Is that a YouTube channel? Did anyone else think Coffin Bound number 1 was a bit too out there? I thought it was out there, but I don't think it was too out there. Like, to be honest, it's hard to get too out there for me. But that's just me. With the whole Lifebringer thing. Well, Galactus is no longer the Lifebringer, but is it connected in some kind of way? Yeah. S Squared said, yeah, Chad, that's why I like it. Yeah, I'm right there with you. What? How does a local comic shop in Chicago sell out? That's crazy. Now, it's been selling incredibly well, but we ordered heavy on it because we knew that this was going to be a book. Like Hickman on X-Men. We know that, like, there are X-Men fans out there that haven't been reading the comics, and this is bringing them back in. This is bringing people that haven't read comic books in years back in. They're hearing about it on the streets. They're watching YouTube videos. They're hearing and seeing the excitement about it and stuff. So we knew we wanted to have plenty. The one that we are in danger of selling out of, though, is House of X number 2. There, that was the one that really started making some waves, I believe. Reggie, I don't know if there's an official date for the audio drama for Wasted Space yet, but the pre-orders just went live a few days ago. I am so pumped for that. Wasted Space is one of my favorite books. Yeah, I've never checked out the YouTube channel. I'll have to check it out. Jim's Comics. I'll check it out. I always like checking out who's doing what in the community and sharing the love on positive channels. And positive doesn't mean that we like everything or that we're going to blow smoke up your ass or anything like that. Positive just means that we're positive about it. We love comics. And it's very evident from I think it's very evident on my channel. And I think it's very evident on other people's channels. David Hatch, are you serious? Now, I know that you've always been more of a DC kind of guy. Is this literally your first time reading X-Men books? Waiting for second printings of House of X and Powers of X. That's so crazy. That, like, I guess that makes sense then. The reprints are necessary. Huh. Maybe other shops don't. I don't know. Our philosophy is to have enough for people. I don't know. That's crazy. It would take a lot to bring me back to the X-Men. Can you recommend a good one to read? If I come back and it still sucks, I'm out for a while. I would recommend the House of X and Powers of 10. If you don't like those, you're definitely not going to like the direction of the X-Men for the next bit. For sure. Have you ever liked the Hickman stuff before? Have you ever read anything by Hickman? That's interesting. What's up, Terry? Thank you for the recommendation. Justice for Comics. We'll check that out maybe. Every time you guys are recommending another channel, it's making me approve of it. That's crazy. They don't want no cross promotion here. Jim's great on spec. Well, you know, I'm not the biggest spec guy, and I don't like to speculate. That's just not my cup of tea. I like to read. Plenty of channels that do it great, of course. It seems like the key words right now are first appearance of some random character and low print run. Which, straight up, Vault Comics low print runs. Buy them up. The comic shop I go to actually has 3 shops in Sacramento. They are by far the biggest in the city. They're even opening their 4th shop. They sold out of Absolute Carnage. We got plenty of copies of Absolute Carnage in my shop. Now, we did sell out of cover A, which surprised us because usually we sell out of the Art Germ covers first. That's crazy. Sold out of Absolute Carnage. That's a book that was printed like crazy. I guess it's just, running a comic shop is running a small business, and money can get tight, and we are hitting the low point of the year, and it's hard for shops. Usually towards fall, for instance, retail slows down across the board, right? I've been in retail for a while, and even outside of comic books, and retail slows down once school starts back, right? And then it picks up for Christmas, obviously. But this is like one of the deadest times of the year, and it's really hard, I guess, for some shops to make that commitment on something during that time to really have a lot. But I don't know, man. Absolute Carnage, Hickman's X-Men stuff, like it seemed like you order heavy on that. I don't know. Everybody's different, right? But the thing is, don't overpay for these books. You can holler at me like on Facebook or on Twitter. I'm at the Rockin Robbie. You can holler at me at the PCP Army on Facebook. If you need a book, I can try to hook you up. We ship. You know how it goes. I got distracted during Coffin Bound and just started doing other things. It's a heady book, and it's a heavy book. There's a lot there that's going on in between the lines and between the images. I don't want to spoil the book for anything, for anybody. But I think it's more similar to Sandman in more ways than just some of the usage of language, which I think the usage of language in Coffin Bound #1 was exceptional. Dan Waters is a very intelligent writer, and he is definitely doing something with the poise and elegance of I almost said Alan Moore, but of Neil Gaiman, but with like a little bit of like sleazy griminess to it. And I don't know, I really, really liked it. I had the advantage, though. I read that book 4 times before it released, so I have an advantage. That's a book that you definitely need to reread. So if you missed out on, if you didn't like it the first time, check it out again. If you don't like it the second or third time, well, it's just not your cup of tea. And then sell it. It's selling it for a little bit above cover right now, I think, online. The Hickman run is truly awesome. Not usually an X-Men fan, but this is in another league. I'm right there with you. I'm not usually the hugest X-Men fan. I love aspects of the X-Men. Of course, I'm a Marvel Comics fan. Hickman's X-Men has got me excited for X-Men in a way I haven't been this excited for since Grant Morrison was on the title. I think it's that big of a deal. And I'm in love with it. I have a novice comic channel experiment. I have a few vids, but it's just a hobby. We'll keep going, flicking stuff. I'll have to check it out. What's up, Nelson? How you doing? I'm right there with you, Nelson. Hickman is pulling a lot of stuff from the Morrison run. I have recently heard a rumor that Hickman's run's going to pretty much undo everything that's happened since Grant Morrison's run. I don't see how that's the case. Unless it's something about Moira's missing life. Who's to say that Moira's missing life is not the X-Men continuity that we had already been reading? Just saying. Think about that. Think about that. Right? Because the change could have happened, and then those other lives are takes we never saw. I'm just saying, Moira's 6th life is missing for a reason, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Yeah, Chad, he is great on spec, but he doesn't sell any of his books. It's all about putting it out there for the community. He buys extras to pass down to his son one day, but he loves to read also very... Yeah, okay. That's super cool. I don't have a problem with anybody selling comic books at all. That's what I do for a living. I just happen to work at a shop. That's just it. What's the difference? And because I work at a shop, I can't do it myself. Get it? But I can hook you up. If your shop sells out of something, just let me know. Well, I hope so. Not every book is for everybody. So if if I get you really excited to read Coffin Bound or something like that, and it's not for you, then it just happens. But I think there's a lot more to it than what you get at first read, for sure. Oh, Terry, I got no problem with other people doing their thing here on the YouTubes. I have no problem with spec channels either. Marvel 1000 is going to be a one-shot. In a way, there is a Marvel 1001 coming out. It's going to be like a $10 one-shot. It's going to be 80 pages. It's going to have, each page is going to be done by a different creator team, including some past names from Marvel's history. So that's really, really cool. It's going to be setting up some stuff that's going to develop more fully, I should say, in the future. And that's what the 1001 is going to elaborate on. And I think Al Ewing's going to be doing most of that stuff. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be $10 for 80 pages. It will probably read a lot cool collected because it will probably be all put together, because it's not even, the reading order's in the back of everything. What's crazy is I get this question so much in the last few weeks. What order do I read them in? The reading order is in the books, homie. Just like Alicia says, hit that like button, y'all. Thumbs up the video. Helps us out. Hey, buddy, got a new shop opening up in my town, Phoenix Comics. Heck yeah, that's awesome. If I got to choose between Absolute Carnage and House of X, pick personally is House of X. Me too. Hickman, X-Men, as much as I'm loving what Cates is doing with the symbiote universe, come on. Nelson said the pick of the week was Silver Surfer Black 3. The art is great. That cliffhanger was epic. I loved it. And I love the way that Tradd Moore draws Ego. It looks so amazing and wonky and wild. It's great. Got back a while ago from my LCS, strategizing my pull list, giving my word to clear out my box this week, a month's worth of books untouched. They can stack up. That's why it's never be afraid to pull back the pull list or to put it on hold or just trim down your list or anything like that. Trades come out. You can trade weight certain things. What's the most important thing to keep? If you're ever here's my advice. If you're ever having to trim or cull your pull list, which I've had to do many times, the books that you are so excited about that you were just thinking about it, waiting with just anxious anticipation. For me, that's like House of X. That's like Justice League. That's the Absolute Carnage stuff. And a lot of the indie stuff. I really encourage people to issue by issue buy all the indie stuff you like. That's more important to buy the indie stuff than it is to buy the mainstream stuff, because the mainstream stuff is selling and the indie stuff, it could live or die sometimes on just a few more people buying the book or spreading the word. So if you're ever trimming your pull list for mainstream, go with stuff you cannot wait for. Things that get you so excited you're giddy with excitement. But any indie book you like, get that book. Because that's a big deal. That helps out the industry more than buying House of X or Absolute Carnage, to be honest with you. But by all means, buy those books too. I do. I love those books. I cannot wait for the next issues. Oh, you should always support your LCS. Nelson's going to pass on Marvel 1000. I do not blame you. It just stinks of gimmick. And I like a good comic book gimmick, just like anybody, We're almost an hour into the stream. We haven't even gotten to Image Comics yet, so let's do it. Criminal number 7, Excellence number 4, Fair Lady number 5, Middle West number 10, Outpost 0 number 12, Pretty Violent number 1. It's a new one coming out. If you like things like I Hate Fairyland, I'd recommend that you check this one out. Ride Burning Desire, what? Ride Burning Desire number 3 is out this week. Savage Dragon 245. Sea of Stars gets a second print for issue number 1. Snot Girl 14 is out this week. And Weatherman Volume 2 number 3. That's from Image Comics. Next, we'll go to DC. I've been looking for Sonata number 3. Do you have that? Yes. Yes, we do. We have 1, 2, and 3. Came in with $6 to get his X-Men book. He's looking forward to it and loving to read, and he only has the 1 in 8 doll variant was left, so he was out of luck because there were 2 guys in there that bought them all. See, that's not cool. We don't allow speculators to buy up all of our copies. They can pre-order as many copies as they want. If someone says, hey, I want 20 copies of this book, we're going to do it. But if they come up day of because the book's hot and they're like, I want to buy 20 copies of this book, we're going to limit it one per person because we want everybody to get the chance to read the book. And we will sell it to everybody at cover price. Well, thank you, Hamburger Basket. We got our shelves at my shop for the new release wall from a movie gallery that went out of business. Hey, what's up, Comics Academy? How are you doing? If y'all have never checked out the Comics Academy YouTube channel, you totally should. They do these interviews with comic book creators. They're captivating. They're so cool. The last one I watched was the one with Michael Morisi. It was a great interview. I haven't watched the ones from last week. Comics Academy does great stuff, and they have an absolutely amazing Twitter page too. It's $10 for Marvel 1000. Here's the thing. If you're a fan of Marvel Comics, and you're a fan of their legacy of not only characters, but of creators, definitely check it out. You're going to have Walt Simonson in there. You're going to have Eric Larson in there. You're going to have Kelly Thompson in there. You're going to have the new school and the old school. And if you're a fan of Marvel, it's a celebration. Other than that, come on. But that Alex Ross cover, that Alex Ross cover is fire. It is amazing. Oh, that's super cool. Me personally, Terry, if that was me, if a kid came into my shop and he was like, oh, I want to read this X-Men book, and I only got $6, and you sold out, all you have is this like $10, $20 variant, I'd sell the kid that book at cover. Now, I'd also talk to his parent and be like, look, there's some heavy stuff in this X-Men book. But I wonder how comics read to kids today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a kid anymore, and there are plenty of great all-ages books out there, but what does a comic book read like to a kid today? Like, if a kid read Hickman's X-Men stuff, would it be too much? Would he be like, what? With the charts, with the timelines, with all the info dumps that you get, would that be too much for a kid? I don't know. When I was a kid, I read some books that I read now, and I'm like, why did I read that when I was a kid? Why was I reading that? I'm liking Excellence too. I did decide to trade weight it because unfortunately Excellence came out on a week one time where I had so much to read, and sometimes I got to cull my list of what I'm going to read for the weekly comic book review in order to get the video out on time, you know? Chad, my favorite phrase to hear is, great words of wisdom, Robbie. Thank you. I'm going to pick up Marvel 1000 too. I'm mostly going to get it, though, for that Alex Ross cover, and it's going to be, I'm a fan of Marvel. I really am. So I'm down for it. I want to copy the Detective 1000 Hughes variant. Too pricey now. I can imagine. Most Hughes variants are pricey now, right? Especially the old school ones, the old Wonder Woman books. Man, I sold my Wonder Woman run. I was all about, back in like the early 2000s or whenever it was, I was totally about that Phil Jimenez Wonder Woman run. It was like the first Wonder Woman run that I was really trying to get into. Man, I wish I would have kept some of those Hughes covers. Nelson, I'm right there with you. I get it. I'm in a fortunate position where I could A, read it for free, or B, get it at a good discount because of my job. House of X is very intellectually written. Its structure is so Hickman. It is amazing. I love it. You started with Morrison's X-Men when you were a kid, and you got it for the most part. See, I was out of high school when Morrison's run came out, and I feel like I only got half of it at the time. No, I got it. I got it. To be honest with you, New X-Men is kind of like an elementary level of Morrison. It's like an entry level Morrison, right? For me, that entry level was JLA. Morrison's JLA was amazing. Bakari, thank you so much. Let me give my Michael Bluth pose. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. I really do appreciate the tip. Thank you so much. Bakari Hernandez. You're awesome. You get a song. How about this? Comics are great. Comics are the best. And everybody knows. Yeah, that's all we're getting. Oh, yeah. I freestyle musical all the time. But I felt like I was called out, even though I called out myself. Thank you, Bakari. I really appreciate that. Oh, man, I love that pose. Are you a fan of Arrested Development? I love that. Was that season 4 when he does his like magazine, or the magazine that's in the airplane magazine? I love it so much. But yeah, if someone can read Morrison's X-Men as a kid and get it, and that's what I'm saying, is a lot of it may go over their heads, but maybe it's something that they love. Oh, thank you, Alicia. I appreciate that. Alicia has to live through so many just random song and dance numbers. And so does Brooks. Brooks has to live through a lot of them. Oh, man, Brooks cut his hair. I should have had an image to share to you guys. But I don't. I should have. Yeah, Brooks cut his hair. I was surprised. I missed it already. I wish I would have gotten into comics when I was younger. If I would have picked up the hobby as a kid, it would have saved me a lot of money. Well, maybe. I don't. It would have, yeah. It would have kept you out of trouble, yeah. Get your comics, get your kids into comics. They won't have the money for drugs, right? Bakari, I have to do a better song for you. I really feel bad about that. All right, let's go. It's time to talk about DC Comics this week. Aquaman makes its return, issue number 51. There's a facsimile edition of Batman 232. That's the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. Batman 77 is out this week. I'm loving City of Bane. That's just me. Black Mask, Year of the Villain number 1. It's a one-shot. It's out this week. Lucifer number 11. Nightwing 63. Pearl number 12. I've been told that is the final issue. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Number 100. Few comics get to 100 anymore, but Scooby-Doo sure did. Superman Year 1 number 2 is out this week. I've read it. It's okay. I didn't really like it that much. Superman's Pal, Jimmy Olsen number 2. I love the first issue of that. Looking forward to this one. Wonder Woman Come Back to Me number 2 and Teen Titans number 33. That's from DC Comics. We'll get to Marvel. Let's go ahead and get into Marvel. Absolute Carnage versus Deadpool number 1 out this week. Age of X-Men starts hitting the trade paperback circuit with Next Gen and Marvelous X-Men. I almost said Absolute X-Men. Deadpool Annual number 1, Death's Head number 2. I thought number 1 was fun enough. I'm going to check it out. Fearless number 2 is out this week. Ghost Spider number 1. Yes, a new number 1 for Spider-Gwen. Out this week. Guardians of the Galaxy number 8. I am so intrigued by this story. History of the Marvel Universe number 2. Amazing book. That first issue was great. It's a crash course. Second printing of House of X number 2 is out this week. Magnificent Miss Marvel number 6. Marvel Comics Presents number 8. Powers of 10 number 3 out this week. That's right. Powers of 10 number 3. Not House of X number 3, Powers of 10 number 3. There's a reason for this. We'll see. With a Shatterstar action figure variant. Savage Sword of Conan number 8. Oh, what's cool is the Powers of 10 Scotty Young variant's got Apocalypse on it, and the way he draws Kid Apocalypse is awesome. He's so big. That's awesome. Spider-Man City at War number 6 is out this week. Star Wars Dr. Aphra number 35. Star Wars TIE Fighter number 5. Superior Spider-Man number 10. Tony Stark Iron Man number 15. Valkyrie Jane Foster number 2 out this week. And that is all from Marvel. So that's what's coming out this week. What are you most excited for? Me, Powers of 10. I just super excited for that. Also, super excited for Killer Groove #4. That book is awesome. I love it. Now we got some comments to get to. It's a weird week. It's a week 3 and it's very small. I'm not getting a single DC book and I'm only getting 6 books, which is small for me. I was looking at the list a little bit earlier and it looked like a small week for me, and I hope it is, because yeah. I could do with a week where I don't have to, well, I'm not trying to read 35 to 40 comics. But it's fun, to be honest. I have to thank my older brother who got me into comics, but he only liked top-tier heroes and not flawed heroes. That only made me like Sleepwalker, Moon Knight, and Ghost Rider. I did post a pic of the new Brooks Do on the Facebook page. Over at the PCP Army, I posted a picture of us filming Comics Revisited, the What If #3 episode. Which you guys won't see for, a few weeks, but we recorded it this week. And, yes, Brooks's picture is there with with no hair. House of X, good stuff. Love it. It's such a great hobby. I wish more kids were into it. My son is already starting off right. I got him in younger to make sure he doesn't go through the experiences I have wasted 27 years. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you so much, Terry. That's really super awesome. I got plenty of kids that are into comics, but most of them come into the shop and they're into like models, or they're into toys, or the card game, stuff like that. But more kids should read comics, and there should be more comics for kids. Try to read comics today, but didn't because your palms kept sweating. Nelson, I was completely going to trade weight History of the Marvel Universe, and then after reading issue #1 with that artwork and the way that Wade just brought all that together, I'm down. Did I skip Daredevil #10? I saw it on one list earlier, but I don't see it on this list. Let me double check that. Where's everybody getting this AT&T DC Comics rumor? I haven't heard anything about that until tonight. I'll have to check it out. Powers of 10 #3 predictions sold out by Wednesday at noon at all 5 local comic shops in the area. Do you got a box? Do you got a pull list? Pre-order it. Get it in there. That's crazy, though. We're not going to sell out of that book. Not the first week. I mean, it'd be cool if we did. Yep, I skipped Daredevil #10. It's out this week. And a second printing of Captain Marvel #8. They completely turned things around the last few months, from DC with Hickman's X-Men Kates on Venom, his Thanos, Guardian, Silver Surfer, and now Carnage. He's got the Midas touch right now. Yeah, he is definitely Marvel's golden child. See you, Nelson. Have a good one. Appreciate everything. Nelson is one of our fine supporters over at Patreon. You can support this channel at patreon.com/PCP. You can also support this channel just by giving us a thumbs up, subscribing, watching, sharing the channel. We're nearing 5,000 subscribers, which brings us to another contest. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. You can also support this channel in the tip jar down there like Bakari did. Terry says, for me, Ewing and Immortal Hulk is hands down my favorite thing right now. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It's just something I can't wait for, and it gets excited there. Yeah, Immortal Hulk is something special and something different. I haven't seen this much movement or excitement about a Hulk book since Bruce Jones first started his run, because it's not very much well remembered right now, I think, by some of the industry, but Bruce Jones His Hulk run was fantastic. It got written out of continuity in like a panel by Peter David. But when that run first started, it was a horror comic. It was about a dude who turned into a monster and bad things happened. And it really got into the mental ideas of it. And Ewing is using stuff from right before the Bruce Jones run too, from the Paul Jenkins run. Paul Jenkins and Bruce Jones had a great 1-2 punch there on Hulk for a while. Well, I think that Immortal Hulk is definitely going to be the definitive run on Hulk post Peter David. Peter David he had the fortune of writing that book for so long, like 12 years or something like that. He wrote so much of it, and he introduced so much of the lore to the Hulk. Smart Hulk, Joe Fixit, that's all Peter David. And Ewing is pulling a lot from Peter David. He's pulling a lot from Paul Jenkins, and he's pulling a little bit, at least as far as structure and pace and tone, for Bruce Jones. I'm right there with you, Bakari. Absolute Carnage is dope right now. Super dope. Super dope. Yeah, I thought the last call Incredible Hulk was pretty good. It's nice to see Peter Dave and Del Keown come back to the title for like a nice little light one shot there. All right, let's get into it. What do you guys think about the Obi-Wan show? I don't think it's official, but I'm super pumped for Ewan McGregor to come back as Obi-Wan. What do you think about that? Sound off. I am already so sold on Disney Plus. As soon as they announced the price, and then they said they're going to have a $12.99 package where you get Hulu and ESPN Plus, sold me. Then you're like, Ewan McGregor might be coming back to do Obi-Wan. Sold. I'm so down. I know there are a lot of streaming services out there, but that just excites me. There's going to be such a nice catalog to choose from, especially on that. What do y'all think about that Obi-Wan show? You excited? Yeah, well, I'm already on Hulu, but as soon as Disney Plus comes out, which coincides with where my 12-year, $1 a month Black Friday Hulu special deal runs out, I'm just going to bundle it all together. Thank you, Slime. One of my second favorite things to hear is, you weren't wrong. He was the strongest thing about the prequels. I loved it. You know, the prequels have their ups and they have their downs. And the best part of the prequels, period, is the Clone Wars animated series. But McGregor was amazing as Obi-Wan, and I would love to see him get to do more with that role. I would love for that to happen. I will join Disney streaming when they offer the Friendo glasses. Oh man, I want to get some Friendo glasses. That's something that Vault should have done. You know, all the time, sometimes we get like weird little silly props and promo items at the shop. We just got a Magic 8 Ball for Dr. Mirage, which is coming out this month. So it's like a Magic 8 Ball, but it's got like Valiant specific phrases to it. Vault should be given, Vault needs to do some Friendo glasses. Maybe I should just make me some. If you start getting behind on your comic shop's pools, you know, usually you should just let them know. You know, like at my shop, if we know that you're struggling, you know, we'll work with you. Like, well, let's trim your list down. Let's put some titles on hold. You know, things like that. You know, or if you just come in every 4 months and you buy all your stuff, then we're cool with that too, as long as we know it. But a lot of shops, it seems they can't afford it. You know, they're worried about it. And I understand that because it is a very common problem in comic shops to have people sign up for boxes and then eventually just stop, but they don't let us know. And you wind up with hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of product sitting there collecting dust that you don't need. So it's kind of like a both ways thing. Comic shops should work with the customers and the customers should work with the comic shops. In an ideal world, that's how it would happen. Krakoa seeds, Robbie, was that real? Yeah, it was real. Here are mine. They're just sunflowers, I think. They're bachelor's buttons also known as a cornflower, is easy to grow, is drought tolerant, and attracts pollinators. Flowers can be fresh cut, dried, or simply admired. So I got a whole thing right here, and I'm thinking about planting them one day. They're supposed to be really pretty and purple, and I hope that they take me to the mutant island. But a lot of shops got bundles of those to give out for free. We gave them out, and I took one. I wish they would bring back the fun and silly She-Hulk. Don't like what they did to her. I love what they did to her, but I understand missing the previous representation of that character. But I like the direction that She-Hulk's going in right now. I need that I Make Boys Cry pre-order cover. I want that Todd McFarlane Spawn 300, but I may wait because they're coming with it at Comic-Con afterwards, which is whack. There are going to be a lot of covers for Spawn 300. Yeah, I still use my comic shop especially. I love Lone Star Comics. My shop, for instance, we were unable to get our copies of Samurai Grandpa #2, so I ordered mine from mycomicshop.com. I love that place for online buying. Blue Marvel to the MCU? I'm down with that. That's a cool character. What's up, Jesse from North Carolina? How are you? What's a good Vault book? Any recommendations? My number one recommendation would be Maxwell's Demons. After that, Zojicon, Friendo, Fearscape, The Savage Shores, Deep Roots, Wasted Space is like one of my favorite comic books on shelves right now. She Said Destroy, Queen of Bad Dreams. I can keep going. Pretty much anything from Vault is going to appeal to you. I'll ask you a question, Highlighter. What's your favorite movie of all time? Maybe your 2 or 3 favorite movies. What are some of your favorite movies of all time? If you let me know that, I'll tell you exactly what Vault comic you should start with. What's the best place to review new comics coming out? I'm using the Midtown Comics app, Previews World. Previews World is probably really good. It's most accurate probably about what's actually coming out on what week. So I'd recommend that. Of course, there's this channel and other comic book channels and things like that. Previews Magazine, though, is going to be your absolute best bet. Just get Previews Magazine, or at least just flip through it at the store. I am very, very excited for the plot from Vault. I read the first issue and I loved it. I loved it so much. Creature feature I'm very excited for as well. Elliot Ray Hall. It's his second offering in the cult classic line. In keeping things positive, there are a lot of comic professionals that are not despised as much as McFarlane. Mostly all of them. People love him some McFarlane. I'm not the biggest fan of Todd McFarlane, I'll be honest with you. But he's not like my least favorite comic book creator. Man, I haven't read a Spawn comic book in forever. Like, since issue number 10. Well, that's not true. I did read Sam and Twitch by Brian Michael Bendis. That was when he first met and collaborated with Alex Maleev. That was a fantastic book. And I did also read Hellspawn for just a little bit because it was Bendis and Ashley Wood, but I didn't stick into it for too long. Is anyone feeling Blade Runner? I just haven't read the comic and cannot watch the old movie without falling asleep. Wow. The first Blade Runner movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. I didn't like the comic book that much, but I love that movie. But to each their own. It's hard when you collect and read singles, collected editions, and statues and manga, and go after keys, especially Marvel. It gets overwhelming. It can. Absolutely. I understand that. You just got to slow down. It will get overwhelming and it will get too much and you'll have a room full of stuff that you don't know what to do with. I don't know who I'm talking about. All right, Flickin' Stuff. Were you the one that made the comment about what's wrong with the 90s Mortal Kombat movie? Okay, so this... Have you checked out our Mortal Kombat movie review? Okay, so... All right, David Hatch, we really do appreciate it. You can join David and other super cool cats supporting us over at Patreon. So I got to say thank you to our patrons right now. Thanks, David. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, David, too. Thanks, Chamorro Cinema. Thanks, Nelson, who was just here in the chat. Thanks, B-Dubs, old Brian Weaver, who you can catch on their most recent episode of Comics Revisited, Maxwell's Demons. Thanks, Dean and Jason and Joe and Brian. We really do appreciate it. You can join the official PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group over at Facebook. You can do that. You can also follow us on Twitter. The PCP Twitter account is kind of like completely inactive, but you can follow me personally at the Rockin Robbie. All right, so this is what I want to say. So over at the PCP Army, we do these movie review polls where we put up a bunch of movies, sometimes tied together with a theme, usually so. We did a theme one time. They're all Van Damme movies, for instance. And it was super fun because Bloodsport won and we got to review Bloodsport, and it's not the greatest movie, but it's awesome. Okay. So we did a 90s video games movies poll, right? And it was Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Double Dragon, Street Fighter, and Super Mario Brothers. And the winner of that poll was Mortal Kombat. So we watched and reviewed Mortal Kombat. Now, I was so excited for this. I do agree that Mortal Kombat is the best 90s video game movie. I just don't think that 90s video game movies are actually that great. Do you get what I'm saying? They're all fun in their own ways. I love rewatching Street Fighter because of Raul Julia. I was really looking forward to rewatching Mortal Kombat. It did not hold up for me. It was excruciating to make it through that movie. And we're spoiled now with all the awesomeness in film, you know? And the new Mortal Kombat movie that will be coming out, I hope that's going to be great and exciting. The original Mortal Kombat movie from like 95, 96 or whenever it was, like I loved that movie back in the day. I thought it was great. And I'm not downplaying the significance of that movie or what it was for its time. But man, it does not hold up very well for me. It did not. But yeah. So I was slightly okay. So when we do I don't know, we don't always do this, but when I did that, like I had the idea. I did not enjoy my experience rewatching Mortal Kombat. So I'm going to come at this review angry. And it's kind of a shtick that I've stood with about Mortal Kombat. Like I'm mad that I had to watch it again because it ruined my memory of that film, if I should say so. Now, what's funny now is in that video, I said I would rather had watched Street Fighter. Now, I'm not saying Street Fighter is a better movie. Legitimately, the best 90s video game movie is Mortal Kombat. It is. It is. But there's a lot of wasted opportunity in that movie. A lot. And it does have an amazing soundtrack, but the soundtrack is not utilized very well or efficiently in the movie. It's very inconsistent. It goes from this like score composed kind of thing into the techno-y Mortal Kombat soundtrack, but it doesn't like flow very well together. I don't know. That's just me. If you want to see that kind of music used in a film, great. A Bloodsport, you know? And also, I think Mortal Kombat Annihilation has the better soundtrack. But it is not a good movie. But at least they kill Johnny Cage like super quick, right? Heck yeah, Banana Jester. I need to organize my stuff. I've been slowly working at it, but I need to do more. But yeah, you should check out the movie review. It's pretty fun. It's fun. We enjoy those movie reviews. When we do the audience poll ones, we know that mostly it's just going to be like the PCP Army and stuff that watches it, so we just kind of play it to the camera a little bit. The Blood Code. ABACABB. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. There are some movies that I won't rewatch because I know they won't hold up, but I want to retain good memories of them. Yeah, I agree. I should have done that with Mortal Kombat. I had such, like, we were like, yeah, I mean, we're going to watch Mortal Kombat. And like, even Brooks and Jelani, they didn't rag on it as much as I did, but they were like, yeah, there's a lot of wasted opportunities. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are literally henchmen in this movie, and they get nothing. And some of it doesn't make sense, and it's weird. But it's still okay. I would rather watch Bloodsport. When we did the Bloodsport video, I was thinking, man, like, I really think that this movie's just Mortal Kombat. wow, it makes me want to watch Mortal Kombat. Then we watch Mortal Kombat. I'm like, I just want to watch Bloodsport again. Bloodsport to me is my favorite Mortal Kombat-esque type film. As of right now. My opinions change all the time. Opinions should change. All right, so Mortal Kombat did utilize Liu Kang a whole lot more than Street Fighter did Ryu. However, Street Fighter wasn't about Ryu. Street Fighter was about Guile, which, first of all, weird, okay? The most popular character in Street Fighter has never been Guile. And Guile played by Jean-Claude Van Damme? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? But Raul Julia's performance as M. Bison makes that movie so fun. So fun. Bloodsport is timeless, and it's got an amazing soundtrack. I fight to survive. Yeah, certain characters shine more, not who you wanted. Yeah, I get that. With Mortal Kombat, the characters that should shine, straight up, Sub-Zero, Scorpion. They got outplayed by Reptile, man. Reptile. And Reptile, like, if you don't got the ability to do it in CG, like, this was a problem they had in some of the 90s movies when CG was becoming more of a thing. Man, like, yeah. The Reptile, when the Reptile fight with Liu Kang is my favorite moment in that movie. It's my favorite fight in that movie. Reptile's also my favorite character in Mortal Kombat. But I love that fight, and I love this. The best usage of the music in the film is the Reptile fight, at least for me. Yeah, I've heard that too, Slime, that Street Fighter was a repurposed G.I. Joe movie, and it totally makes sense. It's a UN force with Guile, and you can kind of see it in there. It's a repurposed G.I. Joe script. I've heard that pretty much since the 90s. Do y'all remember the Street Fighter movie video game that was like early Mortal Kombat? But the problem was that Mortal Kombat 3 was already out, and so it was like it looked and felt like a weaker version of Mortal Kombat 1, but it was Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile and whatnot. Reptile's the best. I love Reptile. Liu Kang was the character I was always best with, and it always pissed me off because I wasn't the biggest fan of Liu Kang. I was more of a fan of Reptile, and Reptile was more difficult for me to work with. I was better at Scorpion or Sub-Zero, especially Sub-Zero, but yeah, Reptile was hard for me to work. Kickboxer is an alright movie. I like Bloodsport better, but Kickboxer's good too. When Guile flexed his bicep, I said, okay, we slept on Guile. I see what they're doing. I love that moment in the film. Like, do you have anything to say to M. Bison? He's like, yeah, that was really fun. Really fun. So have you guys heard about the new breaking news today? Have you heard about this right here? Masters of the Universe Revelation, a Netflix original anime series? That's awesome. I'm very excited for this. This one's going to be showran by Kevin Smith. This news just hit today. This is going to be an anime and a Netflix original, and it's going to pick up directly from the conclusion of the last Masters of the Universe, or not the last one, but the original Masters of the Universe TV show. So it's going to bring an ending to that. I'm sure the animation style is going to be different. Kevin Smith being behind it, that's not quite who I would have picked. I don't quite see Kevin Smith as the showrunner of a He-Man. However, he's probably like me. He's just a few years older than me. So he probably loved Masters of the Universe. He probably got a lot of ideas to share about it. And I am very, very excited for this. What do y'all think about that Masters of the Universe news? Because I think Netflix has done a great job with their new She-Ra TV series. And I'm really excited for this one. What old Thor movie? You talking about the one with the Incredible Hulk? Oh, it's a crazy movie. It's a crazy movie. Yep, Kevin Smith is going to be developing and running a He-Man Masters of the Universe Netflix anime that's going to be the final bit of the original series. Super cool. It's official. It's been announced. Here it is again. This is the only art we've gotten from it so far, but that Grayskull and that Power Sword look awesome. I definitely don't think that they're going to be going the route of this Masters of the Universe show as they did with the She-Ra show. But that's neat. Oh, the Thor movie, the baby Adventures in Babysitting with Vincent D'Onofrio as Thor. Heck yeah, I love that movie. That movie's awesome. I love that movie so much. What do y'all think about that He-Man? Are you guys excited to see that continue on? I am. I'm also very excited about the recent announcement of He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse, a new comic book by Tim Seeley that's going to be He-Man through the multiverse, right? And I'm really excited about that. All these different versions of He-Man. You remember the early 90s, the New Adventures of He-Man? I really liked that show and that toy line, so I hope we get some of that action. They do need to bring back Surf Ninjas. This project that I'm working on with Brooks right now is set in the 90s, and I created a new character for it, and I sent him notes, and I was like, okay, so this is that 90s kid obsessed with Three Ninjas and Surf Ninjas and all this ninja stuff, American Ninja and all that stuff. Like, he's obsessed because there was this huge obsession with ninjas in the early 90s. Surf Ninjas was part of that. Super cool stuff. Now it's time for the question of the week. This week's question is tied into our upcoming podcast. We're podcasting this weekend, so it'll be available next week. We're doing 60s science fiction. So I'm having to put together my top 5 favorite 60s science fiction films for this podcast. So I want to know what your favorite 60s science fiction movie is. Sound off right now. Great answers will get mentioned on the podcast in our social media segment. So if you want to hear a shout out on the show, I got my pen and pad right here. Let me know what your favorite movies, science fiction-wise, were in the 60s. Flicking stuff, I wasn't alive in the 60s either. But I got favorites. If anybody has a favorite 60s sci-fi movie, just let me know right now. That's the question of the week. Lots of good ones. Lots of good ones. Some not so good ones. The Fly was not in the 60s. 50s, right? Was it 50s? Was it 60s? I don't think it was the 60s. See, when we first decided to do this episode, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be an easy top 5, man. 2001, Day the Earth Stood Still. Now, Day the Earth Stood Still is in the 50s. Forbidden Planet's in the 50s. Yeah, I know. All the ones I was thinking that we were going to be talking about were actually from the 50s. But 60s would be like Time Machine, Fantastic Voyage, Planet of the Apes, 2001. Slime says 2001, Space Odyssey. I'm not going to tell y'all my favorites because I don't want to ruin my top 5 for the show, but it's 2001, A Space Odyssey. Flicking stuff like Planet of the Apes, I'm sure that's going to be mentioned a lot on the show. Just writing these down real quick. Slime said 2001. Flicking stuff said Planet of the Apes. What else we got? Dracula. What Dracula film? I'm assuming one of the Hammer ones. Which one? The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Kidding, never seen that movie. I think I've seen that. I really do. I think I've seen that. It's okay. There are a lot of bad ones from the 60s, but there's some good ones. So get those answers in right now. We're about to be jumping into show and tell. So what's your favorite 1960s sci-fi movie? Let me know. You'll get a shout out on the show. Eric said, It Came From Beyond. Godzilla movies count, Reggie, absolutely. I watched The Ladies' Man, not sci-fi, and Edgar Allan Poe movies. What Edgar Allan Poe movie is your favorite? That's how brains work, Slime. My third favorite thing to hear is your brain corrected it. Favorite 60s sci-fi movies? Anybody got anything? 2001, Fantastic Voyage. Barbarella from Roger. That's 60s. Needless to say, though, since so many of the movies I was thinking of, Prince of Darkness, Psycho, come on, Psycho ain't sci-fi. Or is it? What if it was science fiction? We never knew it. 60s was the 60s, but it's not science fiction. What's Prince of Darkness? The only Prince of Darkness I can think of is the John Carpenter one with Donald Pleasance, I believe, and Alice Cooper. That wasn't 60s. Barbarella is 60s, though. But yeah, most of the ones that we were thinking of when we came up with the idea to do the show, it turns out they're the 50s. Mars Needs Women. I haven't seen that one. Anybody seen Planet of the Vampires? That's science fiction. Doesn't have any vampires in it. There are a lot of crazy titles. They're not always the best movies, but they are some of the craziest titles. The 60s were the time where movies were like, it's almost like the adolescence of cinema in a way. The Green Slime. We're about to get into the show and tell portion of the show. So I got a couple things to show off. I got some things to open up. All right, first of all, you guys know I love my 90s Toy Biz Marvel action figures. I got a few of them up there right there. The Galactus from the Fantastic Four line and a few X-Men figures. Cyclops, Strong Guy, and Apocalypse. Apocalypse 2. Apocalypse 2. Anyway, so let's show one off. So, from the X-Men line, I've got this right here. This is a Storm action figure. It's not the original Storm. She had a black costume and no cape. This was a repaint that they did for a couple years later. I've had this for a while now. It's got really loose packaging already. The card's fallen down. It's got like a hole in it right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this one up. Save some room. Y'all ready? Which year was Attack of the 60-Foot Woman? I don't know. So we're going to open this up. I like the Storm figure. And I remember when the original one came out and she's all in black. And then they did a repaint and it was silver. But this white repaint was the one I always wanted because it was more like the animated series. More like her costume at the time. So let's open this one up. All right. And let's see if the light still works because her chest lights up. She's got lightning bolts that she can hold. I think the original just came with one lightning bolt. It doesn't make sense for her to come with two because she only has one hand that can hold them. So there's the figure right there. It's a plastic little cape, but I just love that looks. I've never had this white one, and I'm fascinated with it right now. Let's see if the light still works. It does not. Oh. Sometimes they still work, sometimes they don't. My Phoenix still works. That one does not. But anyway, it's open now, so there you go. Look at that. Did anybody have this one or the black costume or the silver? I have all three of them now. This cape is really cool in that, though. It looks nice. Super cool. I would summon a storm with her right now. She would always say something cool and Shakespearean, though, when she would do it, wouldn't she? I wish the lightning bolt on her chest lit up. Terrible. Joe said he had a movie, but it's 57, yeah. That's been my problem with it, too. All right. So, you guys remember when we were talking about the Skeletor and the He-Man figures from the new retro line or whatever? Well, I got the Hordak right there. So these are kind of modeled on the old school Masters of the Universe figures, but they are painted to be like the animated series. So here is Hordak, and we're going to open them up and check them out. Hordak was one of my absolute favorites. Anything to do with the Horde, I loved. All right. So we got the Hordak out. So first thing you can tell is he's painted just like he was on the animated series. So he's blue and not black. Now, the paint scheme on the original is way better. The face isn't so bright. He's black and gray. But this is a really cool figure. And I don't mind the color variation because I do have an original. What's really cool is he's got his crossbow, because if you remember, all the Horde figures came with crossbows. So there's his crossbow, and I remember being a kid and loving these. Yeah, that's neat, right? Anyone remember the name of the movie with the ninja kid in all white with the nunchucks? I don't know what you're talking about. So his arm's going to come off, and this little blaster... No, it doesn't come off. It just fits over it. Okay. How? So, as you can see, that's what he looked like in the animated series. Here's a color comparison. Right there. So this just slides over his hand. Slide the blaster cannon over his arm to destroy enemies. It just doesn't look like it's going to slide so well in there. All right, this is weak. It really is. I thought this just came off and then that went on. If you look at it, there's like not much room in there to work with. I guess the best I can do is like this. Yeah, why not? Anyway, I'm still not super disappointed. And of course, like most He-Man figures, it does this. 3 Ninjas was great. I loved me some 3 Ninjas. So anyway, there's my Hordak figure to go along with my Skeletor and my He-Man. She-Ra is going to be coming up next. So join us next time. We'll be opening up a She-Ra figure. And another thing, as I was going through my collection, so do you guys remember Dark Knight 3, of course, right? Brian Azzarello, Frank Miller, Andy Kubert. So I was getting those hardcover versions that were going to come in that one slipcase. I finally got together all my copies and put them together in their slipcase, and I think it's actually a really cool set. So let's show it off. There it is right there. It's heavy as hell. But that's super cool. They make the image that goes all the way around. I like it. I actually like this series. I thought this series was actually pretty good. What'd y'all guys think about? What'd y'all think about Master Race? DK3. All right. Anybody remember those? There's a Wolverine Marvel hologram card. I don't know if I can catch the light right. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's fun stuff. Where'd I get the old mic? We bought this years ago when we started podcasting. Space Odyssey. A fantastic movie. Flicking stuff. Do you like that one better than Planet of the Apes? And yeah, Hal's great. All right, that brings us to the end of the live stream. So any final thoughts, questions, concerns, get them in right now. Any final answers for... Oh, Sidekicks. I remember that one. That was fun. So any final thoughts on the 60s sci-fi movies, just let us know. What's your favorite comic book coming out this week? What are you excited for? Final thoughts as we wrap up the show. I want to appreciate everybody for joining us. You can join us over at Twitter at The Rockin Robbie. That's where you can follow me personally. You can join the PCP Army. This is the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group over at Facebook, of course. Join us there. You can support us at Patreon, patreon.com/PCP. And thanks to all the patrons out there, names listed right there. Join the ranks at PCP. No, at patreon.com/PCP. You can find our podcast and other such things like that over at popculturephilosophers.com. Coming out this week, we got a new episode of Comics Revisited. You know what we're talking about this week? We're talking about The Killing Joke. That's right. Me and Brooks, still with the long hair at that time, by the way. We're going to be talking about The Killing Joke this week on Comics Revisited. If you are on patreon.com/PCP, you already have access to this. Reggie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the tip. I really do appreciate that. Reggie is always there. Thank you so much, homie. Thank you. Much appreciated. Let me give you the George Bluth. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, you got a question about comic artists? Fire away right now. Trying to decide between Mike Mayhew and Miko Suwayan cover for the upcoming Joker Harley. Which is the better artist? I'm not familiar with the second person. I think Mike Mayhew's pretty decent though. But I don't know who the Miko I don't know who Miko is. I'd have to look at him. Are you over at the PCP Army? If so, pose the question there and see what the PCP Army says. That's what it's there for us to talk about comic books, pop culture, and everything. So if you're on Facebook, get on the PCP Army, post up the question, post up the images, and we'll fire away and let you know what we think. But as of right now, I have no idea because I'm not familiar with what the covers look like, but I am very familiar with Mayhew's work, and I like his artwork a lot. So don't forget, the weekly comic book review is going to be releasing late. Oh, no images yet? I hate it when they do that. Sometimes they don't release the images till way too late. I'll have to look up the other stuff by Miko Suwan or whatever. Yeah. But I'll let you know what I think. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us here on the live stream. We'll be back next Sunday for Rockin Robbie Live. Thank you all so much. We really do appreciate it. Join us over at Patreon, like I said. Join us over at the PCP Army on Twitter, all that jazz and more. Thank y'all. Seriously, looking forward to this week's comics, movies, all that stuff and more. Lots of excitement here happening at PCP. It's all because of you. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.